Good morning. Hopefully everyone is awake after last night. We had the festivities going pretty late here this evening. We begin today with Lee Cockerell, former Executive Vice President of Operations, Walt Disney World Resort. Lee.
Hey, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here to celebrate 50 years of Disney World.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So where does your Disney World story begin?
Well, I guess it begins when I was born, because I grew up out in Oklahoma on a farm. I tell people we didn't even have indoor plumbing, but my brother and I didn't know that was an issue until we went to somebody's house that had it. And then it was kind of a complicated life. We were into all the movies and all the books. My mother was busy. She was married 5 times. And I've been adopted twice. I got my name Cockerell by the husband number 4 when I was 16. And I tell my wife I'm totally normal. And so he had money, and I got to go to college. I went to Oklahoma State for 2 years and forgot to go to class. So I flunked out and went in the Army. And when I got out of the Army, I got in the hotel business, just by fluke. I met a guy in the Army. He said, "You want to go with me to Washington, D.C.? I'm going to open the Washington Hilton up on Connecticut Avenue." That's where John Hinckley shot President Reagan back in the day, in the 80s. And I got a job as a waiter there, banquet waiter. I'd never been in a hotel in my life. Somebody took me by the hand, started teaching me the business, and about a year and a half later, I got into a management training program. And I tell young people today, the reason I got in a management training program is, number one, I have a good attitude. If you don't have a college degree, it's better to have a good attitude. And second, I'm really organized. And those 2 things seem to go well with your employer, that you are reliable, you're credible, you do what you say you're going to do. So I worked for Hilton 8 years and met my wife in the hotel I worked in. She used to come in my office to sharpen her pencils. I had that pencil sharpener screwed on the file cabinet, and that was lucky me. Except she had a French boyfriend, and it took about a year to get rid of him. Seriously, we got married, we moved to Chicago, we had a baby. I worked at the Conrad Hilton in Chicago, then we went to New York City to the Waldorf Astoria, and then we went to Los Angeles. Then from there, joined Marriott, stayed with them 17 years. I became the Vice President of Food and Beverage Operations for Marriott because I had focused on the food business. So I'd cooked, I'd been a waiter, I'd been in finance and accounting, I'd done all those jobs. And so I got that job and stayed with them 17 years. I ran one of their hotels. Then I got recruited by Disney. In 1990, I got an invitation to come down here for an interview and to be hired as the Director of Food and Beverage Operations for Disneyland Paris. And my wife wanted to go to Paris. She already had this French connection. So she really made me do it, actually. And we went, stayed France 3 years, opened Disneyland Paris. My son got out of Boston University, came over and worked in the parking lot, and ended up marrying a French lady. They've been married 27 years now. I got 3 little French-American grandchildren that are all 26, 23, and 20, almost 21 now. And then I got invited to come back to Disney World in 1993 as the Senior Vice President of Operations for the resorts, for the hotels. Did that for a couple of years, and then I got promoted to Executive Vice President of all operations at Walt Disney World, and it was great. I mean, it was like, so I always tell young people, hey, listen, it's never too late. I knew nothing when I was 20. I'd never watched the news. I'd never read the paper. I'd never been anywhere. I'd never been out of Oklahoma until I was 20 years old. And I say today, you know, sometimes our brains messes us up. We start thinking we can't do something. And I could blame it on my mother, but she did the best she could. And I think just get out there and learn, become an expert in something. I just focused trying to be the best every day, and that worked out. And next thing I knew, I had a job that my high school teachers would be shocked. I said, I've written 4 books, but I don't know where the commas go. So I hire people to put the commas and the semicolons. I don't even know what a semicolon's for. I'm trying to figure that out. I'd love to use one, but I don't know when to put it in. But that's how I do it, and I just learn every day. I go on the line, I learn, I read a lot. One day I woke up when I was about 22 or 3 and found out how much I didn't know, and I started getting interested in knowing more, and started reading, going to seminars, watching I never heard about leadership or management. I didn't know that. It just kind of happened. And I think it just shows if you just go in, try to be the, college kids ask me how they can be successful, and I say be better than everybody else. Have a better attitude, show up for work, get there a little early, raise your hand when the boss wants you, when he asks you to work Saturday and Christmas Day, get that look off your face, and things work out, because you'll stand out if you do that. It's not that hard.
Where are my people at?
What, do you have some children here?
Basically my employees, yeah.
Oh! Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's easier to stand out than you believe it is, because so many people are not trying very hard, and that's why Disney's great. They pick the right people, get the right, you know, that's the key. I always tell people the key at Disney is that I finally came to the conclusion was hire them right, train them right, and treat them right, and you'll have the right team. And I tell any organization, keep those three in mind. Hire them right, train them right, and treat them right. And part of that's getting rid of the people in your organization that don't care. They're not going to, you know, excellence is kind of a state of mind. If you want to be great, you will. If you want to be average, you will. I mean, our brain is our biggest barrier to, you know, having an attitude and having a problem. That's why I've been married 53 years. My wife improved my attitude. And it's really a choice. And we try to hire people that have the right attitude, that, you know, way even above knowledge and above, because people with a good attitude and passion have high potential. I mean, they can just keep going, and they can learn and will learn, and they know what they don't know and are willing to learn more. And, you know, at the end of the day, I tell people three most important things out there are education, experience, and exposure. And education may not be the most important one. It's getting that experience, every experience you can get. I hope they do it when they're 14, 15, 16, they start working. And it's getting exposure to the world. Get out there and meet people from everywhere, all over. I hadn't been anywhere when I was in Oklahoma, and now I've been to 45 countries where I do work and travel, and people are all the same. They're great. And I say, just forget the governments. Just pay attention to the people. They all got a stroller, a baby, and they love them. I mean, this is like everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. And that was good for me to get exposed, because I grew up in an area which was not very tolerant, let's say. And it changes you. So get out there and learn things. And, you know, those were three great companies, Hilton, Marriott, and Disney. And I tell young people today, when you graduate or start out, go try to get with a big company because they'll train you. If you don't like it after 5 years, leave. But you got it on your resume, you've learned. When you go for an interview and they see Disney on there, it doesn't matter what you did. The chances of you being hired will go up dramatically. So that's how I got in the business. I didn't know, when I was in high school, I had no clue you had to do anything. I thought you kind of stayed in high school your whole life. And most of the kids didn't go to college where I grew up. It was like 10% maybe. And it worked out, even though, and by the way, I gave the commencement speech at Oklahoma State University 2 years ago. I was nervous about it, like I flunked out here, but I'd like to tell you how to be successful. So that was funny, but it was nice. And I'm on the board there of advisors for the business school, because that's what experience and exposure does. Now, the courses I took there, I'm not sure. I wouldn't want my transcript shared publicly, let's say. I did make an A in tennis, and that's got me up to a 2-point the second semester, so that's my life. And yeah.
So, like that was a fairly new path to management, I think, at the Disney Company at that time, right? Because in the Eisner years, that became more prevalent, that people would come from outside, right? Because before that, people were sort of homegrown and then worked their way up through the company.
That's right. I wasn't that popular when I showed up because I was from the outside.
Yeah.
And I think that's, we can all learn a lesson there, that everybody had been promoted from inside, and here's this guy showing up from Disneyland Paris that worked for Marriott, never been to Walt Disney World, never worked in a theme park.
Yeah.
And I think then it's really clear that you really have to get to know everybody and make sure they know you're not there to do anything bad to them, because I wasn't there to run the parks. I was there to make sure we were hiring the right people, we were training everybody, and that we were creating a culture where people wake up in the morning and want to come to work, or
Yeah.
a culture where people matter and they know they matter. You know, that's it. There's so many technical things at Disney, no one person can ever know that. You've got to hire the right people. Engineering, security, transportation. I mean, those are very complex areas. And
Yeah.
Retail at Disney, people think retail's easy. Retail is really amazing. I saw the pictures of the Emporium a couple of days ago. It looked like they were having a war in there. Didn't look safe to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's that's how you got to think about it.
Well, tell me about getting that phone call when they called you for Disneyland Paris. What does that mean to you that the Walt Disney Company
I
called
was
you for this
shocked,
job?
actually. Al Weiss called me, or Judson Green actually called me and said he wanted me to go to Orlando for an interview to be the head of the hotel division. And I flew there, and I didn't get there because there was a huge snowstorm. I got stuck in Raleigh for 2 nights in this scary hotel. And finally got there, had an interview with Al, and we agreed and everything was fine. And
Yeah.
my going away party, that was first trip. Second trip when I came over for just to meet everybody. On the way back, I missed my going away party in France. So I got on the phone, everybody was there but me. They were having my wife, my son, everybody. But it was exciting I mean, I can't imagine. I had never been to Disney World until I interviewed with Disney. I'd been to Disneyland. We lived in LA. We lived in Southern California when I was with Hilton and went there, and it was great. But in those days, we couldn't afford to go. I mean, it was expensive. And most of our vacations were going to my mother-in-law's or father-in-law or my home and having vacation. So I didn't tell them that during the interview, that I've never been here. So I thought they might not hire me. But yeah, and I did a lot of work for Marriott. I used to go to the Marriott World Center all the time on business, and I never got over there. And that just shows, I should have, but I didn't. Yeah. But it was exciting. It was great to come here.
I know we're celebrating Disney World, but I really want to hear about your time at Disneyland Paris.
It was hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
Hardest
opening.
job I ever had. I joined, I had to hire 200 managers. I got it there in 1990, September, and we were opening in April of 92. So for 2 years, I flew around the world hiring people, and mainly looking for people who spoke French. And a lot of people did, that maybe they had an American wife, or they had lived in the U.S. for a long time, or they'd lived somewhere else. And we just went on the road, and we hired 200 managers, chefs, number 2 chefs, sous chefs, assistant managers. And so that was hard. And then we had to do everything in 5 languages. So all the menus were in 5 languages, all the pamphlets were in 5 languages. We had to staff the front desk of hotels in 5 languages. We had to make sure we had somebody from Spain and Italy and Germany and UK, and because people were coming from all those places. And so that was tough. And then the work ethic in France is not as robust as it is here. People are not used to the crowds and working so hard. So it was hard. And I didn't speak French. Everybody in my family speaks French but me. And my grandson just went a month ago to France to go to college for 4 years. And so he'll even speak better French. So I just smile when they're all speaking French and try to drink some champagne or something. Yeah. But it was hard. It's tough, a new environment. They didn't really know Disney that well there.
Yeah.
And it was, I worked the last 7 months, I didn't have a day off. Went to work at 5:30 in the morning, got home at 10:30 at night most days. We were so far behind in getting things done. Menus and food concepts. And it was, we brought all American wines in, which had never been done in France, and the French ended up loving them. But to get those through customs, and you can't think of the number of headaches you get when you're trying to open a big new project like that.
Yeah.
And then the first year, business didn't materialize. We were losing $1 million a day.
Wow.
for the first year, every day. Every 24 hours, we lost $1 million. So when Michael Eisner came, it was not nice to see him. He was not too pleased with our performance. And, you know, it had many years of not making money and having to put more money in it. It was financed by 35 or 40 banks. And they had to refinance it every 5 years because they ran out of cash. And finally, Disney put money in, and I think it's stabilized now and doing well. I mean, it's the #1 destination in Europe.
Yeah.
It does great. And,
It's a shame they had so many problems. It's a beautiful resort.
It is.
Yeah, they did a beautiful job. I know there were, in food and beverage particularly, you had some challenges. I know the beer and wine story is very famous.
Well, we didn't serve wine in the parks.
Yeah.
And, that's like, that's not good in France.
They let you know right away.
There's 2 things every French person needs, or 3 actually. They need coffee in the morning, espresso. They need a baguette at lunch, a new fresh baguette at dinner, and they need wine.
Yeah.
And we didn't serve wine. That didn't last long. There was almost a riot. So they can't eat actually without a glass of wine. I mean,
My favorite thing now is, I don't know if you're familiar with this, they have bicycle carts with champagne.
they do?
Yeah, it's a
Oh, I
beautiful
didn't-
cart. They spend a ton of money on it. It's all brass. It's really beautiful. It's a little bicycle, like almost like a gelato cart, but it's champagne. And so they bike down Main Street, and then they start selling champagne out of the cart. It's amazing.
There was a store in France that if you got stopped by the police for DUI, drinking under influence, which they didn't really used to very enforce, but they are now. But if you've been drinking champagne, that's okay. That's not considered a problem. I always kept Disney pins in my car to give the policeman one. That usually got you off. But because they loved the Disney pins. But I did get one ticket. It was $400 with the camera, coming home at 10:30 at night, coming through the park. Poop, and the ticket came a year later. And they shoot your face and your license plate, so you can't deny it. They were fighting against that for a long time because a lot of men were getting caught with their face and another lady and the ticket gets mailed to your house.
Oh.
So there was a few divorces, but yeah, it's a great place. Though we go there every year. We got family there now, and our grandson's there, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So despite what was happening at Euro Disney, you got the phone call to come to Walt Disney World.
I did. It was like a close call because about half the people got fired that summer, and I got a new job. So timing is everything. And because when you're losing $1 million a day, there's a lot of changes that take place. And I got out. We were 2,000 people overstaffed for the business, and everybody's on a contract in France, so you can't just lay people off.
Yeah.
You got to pay them for like long periods of time, and so that was contributing to the losses, which were gigantic. Yeah.
Well, talk about coming to Disney World and your new role here.
Yeah, I mean, I came to Disney. I came early, and I stayed in all the hotels for about 3 weeks, just unknown to anybody, just so I could get a feel for what's going on, how it felt, and what the service was like, and food, and then I got started. I had a meeting with all the managers in a big room and talked about here I am, and here's my background, and here's kind of how I work, and let them ask any questions they wanted to, and I probably spent the first 6 months just trying to get to know people and understand myself what was going on, because the biggest mistake you can make when you're in a new job is to start making changes before you know what's going on. A lot of people come in and do that, and I really took my time because Disney's pretty unique in that they're very proud of what they do, and they don't need this guy from Marriott coming in here telling us what to do. And so I had to take it easy. I mean, and try to gain support. And Al Weiss was great to work with. He's finance background, and he knew the numbers. And I told everybody, Al decided how many bathrooms we needed, and I kept them clean. That was my job. I focused mainly on cleanliness, friendliness, training, hiring the right people, that kind of thing. Trying to look at the rest to see if we were being efficient. A lot of times we weren't seating people quick enough in the restaurants. There were dirty tables for like a half an hour because we weren't cleaning them quick enough, getting in. The lines, as you know, are the one thing everybody doesn't like here. And so I was focusing on operational issues. I didn't really know much about the attractions or how you do that, but we had great people here to do that. They knew what they were doing, and they did that, and I tried to give them the support, whether it was more labor or something they needed, a resource to be able to do their job better, and I kind of stayed out of the technical part of the operations. So I had an engineer reporting to me in here. I don't even have a college degree. So what am I going to tell this guy? I told him, just stay, don't quit, because I mean, engineering here is amazing. You know, there's probably 7,000 maintenance people now at Disney World. And you can imagine, $1 billion a year in capital projects and repairs and maintenance. And I can't even imagine how much they spent this year.
And they're really, the maintenance people are unsung heroes, right? I mean, all these
absolutely.
rides and everything are very complicated.
And it's a big safety issue.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your heart surgeon. You want him to be really good.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't kill you. And yeah, they are. I mean, everybody is. I think there were many people that I tried to focus on that when I was here. I mean, everybody's important. That's the first chapter of my book. Remember, everybody is important, and they are. And people say, well, the people clean the rooms. Yeah, they're really important. You come back to your room when you're paying the rates you get charged here now, and your room's not made up. Or you go to the restroom where everybody goes, and it's not clean, or there's paper towels all over the place. And that's how you get, that's the reputation we have, is by those encounters you have as you go through the parks, and the people you run into, and how the place looks, and how they handle your problem if you have one, and the bus drivers. And the second chapter in there is make your people. In fact, I really believe that. Every company, your people are your brand. It's the people are the brand. I mean, when you look around, I mean, you can go vacation anywhere in the world, but you can't find the kind of people here that are going to pay attention to you and look after you and not be rude and go out of their way to take care of you and do the right thing. And that's what, you know, Disney considers their competition. Anywhere in the world you'll go on vacation, and we don't want you to go anywhere else. And that's when you think about it. People are deciding, where are we going to go spend our money this summer? We want you to think here. So if you have a fabulous visit here, the odds, it's an odds game. The odds are you'll come back here. Or if you do go to Vegas or Hawaii, or the odds are, oh, it was nice, but let's go back to Disney. And that's what a lot of people do. Repeat business is the name of the game here. 70, 80% of the people here every day have been here before.
There's a lot of repeat business in this room.
I'm sure, in this room. But yeah, it's, and that's for any business. It's like, make me happy and I'll come back. You know, I have a cleaners. I've been taking my shirts to the cleaners for 25 years. He loses one every now and then. But I keep going back. He's a great guy. If I need the shirts done in an hour because I'm going out of town, he'd take care of it. He'd bring them to my house. I mean, I'm not going anywhere else. And it's outrageous what he charges for them. So, I mean, that's how we all are. Everybody in this room, you go to places where they're reliable and they're credible and they do what they say they're going to do, and you're not disappointed, and especially if you're taking your children. I mean, I learned one thing. If you make the parents, the children happy, you'll have happy parents.
Yeah.
That's one guy told me, I hate Disney World, from New York. And I said, why? He said, because the lines and all, but if my kids are happy, then I'm happy when I leave. And I think that we could all speak to that. If our kids are happy, we're happier than we are when they're not very happy.
Yeah. You mentioned...
All the people that complain here, by the way, are the adults. Children never complain. They're pretty happy. They were happy to go to the water fountain.
You mentioned before when you first got the job that you, I guess, without anyone knowing who you were, you stayed at all the hotels. Yeah. How important do you think that is to learn?
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like we talk about that a lot, where sometimes it feels like management comes in and maybe they don't go experience what the guest experiences.
Oh, I think that's the biggest problem, anybody in a leader not knowing what the work is and haven't done it. I think I was successful because I started as a waiter. I've been on the floor. I've been a cook. I've been a dishwasher. I worked in Lake Tahoe once. My job was grease man. I had a cart, and I went around, emptied all the grease out of the griddles all over the casino. And you're not real popular when you're the grease man. I mean, it's not like people give you an award. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, is understanding the business deeply. And I tell everybody, try to do business with your company. Try to call your company. Try to have some friends try it, check it. It's never as good as you think it is, I can tell you. And every time I went out at Disney World, it was never as good as I thought it was. I took my grandkids with me when they were little. Oh man, they worked me out over the children's meals were terrible, and I mean, the water fountain was hot, the water wasn't working. I mean, I learned some, and I went back and we worked on these things. I would have never probably understood about the children's meals. And you've got to, every time I went out, I'd go to the bathroom, see how it looks. You can't rely on people to tell you, because people don't tell you everything.
Yeah.
And if you have children, you know that. You realize your children lie to you pretty often, especially teenagers. And employees don't lie, but they just don't tell you the important part of the story. And when you go and it's not right, and you go again, it's not right, you got a system problem, or we're not cleaning or often enough, or we need more people in that area, or if you don't know, you can't. That's one of the chapters in here. Know the truth. People tell me all the time. I'll see sometime an article on the news. It'll say, the guy being interviewed said, "I didn't know my daughter was on drugs." So what? You didn't know your daughter was on drugs? I didn't know my son was building a bomb in his room. What? I said, if you have teenagers, you go in their room every 20 minutes without fail, because you don't know what they're up to in there. My mother was checking on my brother and I all the time, and because we had no sense. And you got to check. You got to know. You've got to know, not what people tell you. You got to know by what you see and experience. And I had a good relationship with a lot of people who told me. I had a confidential voicemail. Anybody could leave me a message without leaving their name. They could report anything they wanted to. Their manager was sexually harassing them, or this or that, and I took care of it. I didn't need their name. I got HR and compliance involved. Get down there. We dealt with it. A lady called and told me the guy who was stealing shrimp when it came in every week, selling it out there at that, one of those big, what was that thing in Kissimmee, that weekend mart or fair or whatever they had. He was out there selling our shrimp. I mean, you can't imagine. If you've not ever been in the hotel business and the food business, you don't want to know what goes on in that business. It's
so
scary.
Someone was taking shrimp and then selling it somewhere else.
Yeah, get a case from the back dock. He would be received, take a case, stick it in his car. I mean, I've been there. Food and beverages, if you survive food and beverage, you pretty much can survive anything, because it's wild. It is wild. Has anybody worked in the food and beverage business?
A couple.
Yeah, right? You got stories that are frightening. And so, yeah, I learned a lot. I'm out and about, and I still am. And I like to go out and find out what's going on, because when you have a comfortable relationship with your team and they see you a lot, they're not intimidated. They see that you took care of what they told you, then they tell you more. But if they tell you and you don't take care of it, you won't hear from them again. So every little thing, I always used to think it might have been a little thing to them, or a little thing to me, but it was a big thing to them. And you got to take care of those one at a time. That's how you get a reputation for it. Okay, leaders should be approachable. They shouldn't be terrorizing their teams and raising their voice to them and intimidating them, and because there's no upside in that. There's no upside in intimidating somebody or having a bad relationship with them. And if you think there is, try it on your wife. You'll find out it doesn't work that well. And it's true. Why are leaders not more approachable, friendlier, kinder, nicer? We should be helping the people be successful, not give them a hard time when they come in. They already have a hard time in their personal lives. They don't need to make it better coming to Disney, or worse, coming to Disney. Some of those things you got to really think about, because you want the support of the staff so you can make the right decisions. Not, I'm afraid to go see Lee, or what kind of mood's he in today, or, oh my God, he's coming, run, you know. It's, you just gotta, and I think knowing the business from the bottom up, you know, in those dish rooms and cooking and all those, I'm more comfortable with those people that work in those kind of jobs.
Yeah.
I worked in the oil fields, I've worked in a lumber yard, I've driven a delivery car for a pharmaceutical, over a drugstore. I milked a cow every morning before I went to school when I was 12 on the farm. I don't know why I did that, because we had electric milkers, but I think that was part of my development program, I think, from my mother. Experience, I'm telling you, get experience. It doesn't matter what it is. I tell kids, when you get out of college, it doesn't even matter what it is. Go find a company you want to work for and take the job nobody else wants. Get your foot in the door, show them how great you are, and you'll be noticed, you'll move up. Take the job nobody else wants. The key is to get in. It's not to get in at this level or that. And the biggest barrier is your parents are probably going to be unhappy to tell the neighbors that you're doing something after they spent a fortune on your college degree.
Yeah.
And I told my son that too. I go with Disney, go with Marriott, go with a big company, stay 5 years, take whatever job. He started in parking at Disney, parking as an hourly. And when he went over to France, he got a visa to work over there, and he started in parking cars. As he told me, it takes more people to park cars in France than it does in America. It's disorganized to get the people in the right place. But experience, let me tell you. And that's, people in this room know that. You know more from your experiences in life than you do from college.
Yeah.
Especially, today. It's moving so quick. Half the stuff you know when you get out of college is not even relevant. It's already changed, and there's a new way to do it and a new way to think about it, and especially in technology. And really today, even how you lead people and manage people, because people now are getting, I'm not coming in. I'm working from home. I'm not.
Yeah.
There's a whole new way people are going to have, I said today, you got to give people more than a paycheck. They're not going to join you. And they're not going to work for $15 either. That's over too. That happened, that lasted a month. I mean, we're going to have to take better care of people so people can have a life. And it's going to be a big adjustment. It's going to be a big adjustment. It's going to be, companies are going to go, how do I do this? And by the way, when you hire great people and you train them and you treat them right, they're much more productive. You need less people. You pay less people more and have less. People say, well, I can't find anybody to work. Nobody wants to work. I say, don't worry about hiring people. Keep the ones you have. They got to know you love them. When your employees leave, that's called turnover. When your wife leaves, that's called turnover. Or your children run away from home, that's turnover. And you probably have something to do with it. So if I have a problem hiring people or keeping people, I'd say that's my fault. That's not their fault. And people stay where they're appreciated. That's it. People stay where they're appreciated. People that are appreciated, like what they're doing, are treated right, have opportunity, can move up. They don't go looking for a job. People start looking for a job when they're unhappy. They're not going to move for $1 or $2. I used to tell people when I came here, opportunity is the best benefit Disney has. You look at George Kalogridis. I mean, come on. Guy starts as a busboy at the Contemporary and becomes the president of Walt Disney World. What? Linda Warren started driving the boats on the lake when she was 18 and became the head of marketing. Al Weiss started ringing out the cash registers when he was 17 and became the president of Disney World. I mean, there's a million stories like that. And so you need to fix yourself before you try to fix your company. Because 99% of the problem is we are the problem, not the people leading. I mean, literally. Quit trying to control people and train them, develop them, give them opportunity, and be clear with what you expect. I think one of the biggest problems in business today is lack of clarity. When you hire people, be clear. It's hard to work here. Tell them the 25 things you want them to know. Yeah. Disney is very clear when they hire people about how hard it is and the expectations, And about 20% of people don't fill out the application after they have that conversation. They leave because they don't like what they heard. That's what clarity does.
Yeah.
And I know we got mothers in here. How were you mothers clear with you when you were growing up? Were you clear with your children? I mean, my mother was a terrorist before they had them in the world. And seriously, clarity is a wonderful thing. There's no misunderstandings. We talked about it. I told you. I told you you're going to have to work on Christmas, Easter, New Year's, Saturday. Hey, now you know. Don't be coming to me telling me you didn't know, because I told you. We worked on it. And that's clarity is the biggest thing. You know why people are not clear? Because it's hard. People don't want to do the hard things. And this is the number one problem. There's two. I said leaders today need empathy and discipline, because that's what mothers have. Empathy and discipline, and they use them both on you. They don't care if you're happy every day. They care if you're successful. So anytime you're having a problem, don't know what to do, call your mom. She'll tell you. They know, because they have the long range. I want you to be successful long term. And people don't do the hard things. People don't want to have a hard conversation with somebody that's not performing. Why? Because it's hard. Let it go. It's hard to find people. No. People don't exercise. Why? It's hard. A guy called me, he said the other day, my wife and I have a trainer we work out with twice a week on strength and agility and balance. So we hopefully don't break a hip, fall and break a hip. And guy called me and he said, I started doing those weights like you do, Lee, and I quit. Those things are heavy. I said, most of the hard decisions in your life are heavy. You've got to remember that. Most are heavy. And the number one reason people are not happy in their life or things don't go well is lack of discipline. Discipline. You know what to do, but you don't do it. You know what to do, but you don't do it. And it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
I work with a guy whose main business is working with the executives that their main goal is to be liked. I don't know many mothers that want to be liked. They want to have their kids be able to leave home and go be successful and not live in the basement and keep asking for their credit card. I mean, and that's, it's the same kind of. You got to have empathy, you got to have discipline, you got to train people. That's what mothers do. You have to appreciate them, you have to show them recognition, appreciation. It's the same exact thing. It's about people. So I told Chick-fil-A, it's not about the chickens. We know what's going to happen to the chickens. It's about people. There's no shortage of chickens in this country. There's a shortage of good people. And we've got to get them, treat them right, so they stay with us. Because I can tell you, 9/11, I would have been in big trouble if we didn't have such a great team at Disney. It was unbelievable the day how they pulled that off. Everybody did their job. It was amazing. Everybody did their job. They didn't run home. They didn't leave. We took care of the guest.
Yeah, that's amazing, I think. And the parks were reopened
Next day.
the next day.
We had a manual system. Everybody got a ticket on the way out.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
How does that happen? Like, what is that day
It ha-
like at Disney World, operationally?
Well, when all the power goes out, that's kind of bad. And
Is that a thing that happens from time to time?
yeah, it does. Occasionally you'll see a blip at Epcot or something.
Yeah.
A panel, something happens, lightning strike. But I will tell you, the safest place to be in the world is Disney if something's going on. If there's a hurricane, be here. Because the buildings are built, I mean, we didn't even meet the deductible in those 04 hurricanes. Although 9,000 people in Disney, employees, cast members couldn't come back to work from their homes in Orlando. Trees on their houses and all kinds of things. We put them up in hotels all over for weeks.
Yeah.
But Disney didn't even meet their deductible. The storm's coming, we have a plan. Everybody, in May, everybody cleans up the whole property so there's nothing to fly around.
Yeah.
Because we know May is when it starts. We keep it all, everybody knows. Hurricane's coming. Everybody knows you go out, you tie all the outdoor fans so they can't spin around. You get all the furniture goes inside. I mean, it's like
Every park banner comes down. That was always the most
Everybody
amazing
knows
thing. It was
what
like
to
day
do.
before Magic Kingdom. You don't realize how many banners are in that park, and then suddenly the park looks naked because 700 banners had to come down overnight because a hurricane's coming.
and
It's
back
amazing.
up.
Yeah,
And
then
next
back
morning
up,
we opened. You know, after that first hurricane in '04, we owned every chainsaw in Florida. There were like 1,200 trees down on the property. 1,200.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. We were cutting trees, baby. Everybody. I wasn't. I didn't even know what. But people know what they're doing. They're trained. You know, it's like at your home. Hopefully, your whole family knows exactly what to do when a tornado comes. You don't start having a meeting when you got 20 seconds. When you got a fire, you got a fire extinguisher. You've already thought about that. I mean, you're ready. You know, I tell people, don't get ready, stay ready. Stay ready. Because, by the way, this pandemic, this is just, that's going to go. It'll be something else. It was 9/11, then it was the crisis in finance, and then it's a pandemic, and then I wrote that fourth book, Career Magic. It's about how to overcome obstacles in your life. And if everybody's going to have them, you've already had them, you're going to have more, your kids are going to have them, and it's about, are you ready? You know, if you have a swimming pool, make sure you got little kids, you get a fence around it. You get an alarm. You don't do, you know, you get a treadmill before you have a heart attack, before you go for bypass surgery.
Yeah.
It's anticipation. What, you know, the two things you got to think about every day is, what did I not do well yesterday? How can I improve that and fix it? And anticipate what could go wrong in the future. So if you have teenage kids, you could anticipate. When they start driving, you can anticipate. When they start dating, you can anticipate. And you start to make sure you're focused on those things at the right time in your life so that hopefully they don't happen. It's not about taking care of what happens. You got to do that. But keeping things from happening. That's your goal. Keep things from happening. Change the oil in your car when you're supposed to so the car keeps running. You know, do whatever you have to do to your house so you don't have deterioration and lose value and whatever. Maintenance. These are all precautions. And we got to be thinking about the things that we ought to be doing and not wait until they happen. Because when they happen, it's usually cost you more. It could be a safety issue. It could be a lot of bad things go bad when things you are quite aware that can happen. It's like people on empty on their car. They say, I think I can make it another 3 miles. You know? Then I tell women, yeah, and then you break down out there and some weirdo comes to help you. Don't run out of gas in Florida on the highway when you're at a quarter tank fill up. Some of this stuff we get ourselves into, and we've got to, at work, at Disney too, we've got to anticipate the things. If we don't treat people right, we can anticipate we're going to have a high turnover. And there's a lot of things still need to be done well at Disney, better. And they're having trouble hiring people right now. Anybody in the U.S. that says they can't find a job are lying.
Yeah.
If you can't find a job, you're either in prison or you are crazy or you don't want a job. And let me tell you, I mean, you can get as many jobs as you want.
You brought up housekeeping, how important that is before. The biggest bonuses they're offering at Disney right now for people to come back is housekeeping. Like, that's the biggest shortage in Orlando is housekeeping.
Yeah.
It's so important to what
If you
we
don't
do.
think that's important, go out and try to make up 12, 14 beds.
Yeah.
My wife and I can barely get our bed made in the morning, let alone. It's hard. When I was at Marriott, I did training in there, and I did 4 rooms, and I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. I mean, literally, it's hard. Moving all that stuff, and the showers, cleaning them, and
It's very underappreciated.
end of the day, you're about to die. And it's hard. And then you want them to be nice to the guests when the guests come back to the rooms. And oh, God, yeah. And if you can't get the rooms done, you got a problem. You have a problem. Because, I mean, the rates have really gotten high here. And the guests have high expectations. That's the problem. So we've got to have high expectations. If you raise the expectations for yourself in your life, you'll do better. Actually, if you have higher expectations for your children, they'll do better. And that's why I think every day the leaders at Disney are always pushing, we got to be better. We got to be great. And that's all in everybody's brain. And that's why, we say Disney is the happiest place on earth or else. I mean, so we all have to behave. We may not, many days I went in, I wasn't happy, or I wasn't feeling well, or I had some stress about something. But when I got out of my car, I knew I had to take a deep breath and behave. Pay attention to people, be available, be nice.
Yeah.
Being nice all day is stressful. With some of the guests. But you got to do it. The guests are not mad at you ever. They don't even know you. They're mad at your name tag or mad at something that happened.
Yeah.
So your only job is to turn them around. And we want to turn them around for a very good reason. They have a credit card. And we want it. And we want to get as much off of it as we can. And for them to go home happy. I mean,
Yeah.
we like rubles, we like pesos, we like euros, we like dollars, Bitcoin. You know? There's no upside to not being so nice to your guests they can't believe it. Even if they're rude, even if they're a pain in the butt. Hey, they don't know me, they're not mad at me. And maybe we did something wrong. And I'll tell you another thing you got to remember. I tried to tell the staff cast at Disney. Every guest has 10 problems you don't know about. In their family, their health, their mother, somebody's in the hospital, their children, they're worried about tuition, they're worried about their house pay. I mean, and you got to keep that in consideration. It's not the problem they're yelling at you about, it's what's happened. We all have 10 things, you know. Every Disney cast member has 10 problems, but we don't show it.
Yeah.
We're putting on a show here. The show does not include rudeness. The show does not include telling the guests to go jump in the lake. Because they jump in, their credit card gets wet, and we can't find it. Mickey loves everybody. And we'll take cash too, yeah.
Also, you can't jump in the lake anymore. So.
Oh, you can't?
No, they got all the ropes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, you can't go in the water anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, that was tragic.
Do you want to talk about the books?
Sure.
Well, what's the first one? Where am I starting?
All right, Creating Magic's in 22 languages now around the world.
Wow.
And it's become very popular. It's also a course for college students now. We created an online course with workbooks, and a lot of teachers use it. And it continues to do well. I think we've sold 600,000 copies so far. And it's really some good stuff in there. And it's really a lot reflection of what Disney does about taking care of the people, about taking care of training, about ethics and honesty, doing the right thing, solving the hassles for the guest and for the cast members so they can do their job, all those kinds of things. And it's great. I like it. Customer Rules was the second one. It's 39 rules for, it's really things you can do for your customers that don't cost anything. And it's really teaching people, like I just opened at Rule 13, expect more to get more. You've got to expect more. As a mother, as a leader, expect more. Expect more of your children, they'll be more. They'll do more. So this book is in about 15 languages now. And it's just good, practical advice. Rule 9, hire the best cast. You know, a lot of companies don't get it. It's how simple it is. Hire right, train right, treat right. Those three things. You do those, you'll be ahead of everybody else. Everybody. And ask yourself, that's rule number 5, ask yourself, what would mom do? You know, when you think about that, you call your mom, you say, Mom, I got this guy working for me. He comes to late work most days of the week. He's got a bad attitude. He's not taking care of things. And what do you think? She said, well, have you talked to him? Well, no, but we'll talk to him. Well, call you back 3 months. Mom, he's still doing it. What should I do? She's fire him. I mean, mothers don't, they know what to do. They don't play around.
Oh.
And that's the best advice I can give you. If you want people. Time management, third one, this is a big issue. I've been teaching time management for 40 years. It's a system for how to get organized, how to stay organized. The problem is most people don't learn this in college and high school. They don't teach you how to deal with all the things that are going to come at you once you get out, and then you get married, and then you have children, then you have a soccer game, your mother-in-law's flying in Saturday night, and your boss wants that report done Friday, and your taxes are due, and do you ever feel overwhelmed? It's one thing after another. You've got to get your act together. And you can do that. This is not, you're not born disorganized. That happens over time. It's because this is like a math course or a history course or learning how to cook a recipe. It's a way to do things. It's how to get yourself organized, how to think about what you should be working on, learning to say no, not doing everything everybody asks you to do, rethinking the most important things in your life. And when I was at Disney, the three most important things for me was hiring the right people, training them, and treating them right. That's it. I got all these other people to take care of the technical stuff. When I retired, my wife said, Lee, I have 3 new ones for you. Since you don't have to do that anymore, your priorities are now take care of yourself so you can take care of us. Number 2, take care of your family. Number 3, take care of your business. And 4, if you have time left over, you can help Kim Kardashian with her problems. Or you can play golf. But until you take care of yourself, your family, and your business, don't be screwing around. And you got to think about those 3. If you don't have those 3 in your mind, you won't do them. You got to do things on purpose. You got to be in your schedule. You know, my wife and I work out on Wednesday and Saturday mornings with a guy, online now because his studio was shut down during the pandemic. And we've learned to do it online. It's great. We bought all the weights and the thing, you rope and this and that, and it's scheduled. Yeah. That's why we do it. And every Tuesday night, I hate it to think about I got to get up and do this in the morning. And because it's scheduled, we do it. And schedule the priorities in your life. And you got a lot. You got more than you think you do. You got your mother and father, maybe, your grandparents, you've got yourself, your retirement, your kids, your grandkids, your faith, you got so many things that you signed up for in your life. But are you putting enough time against those things that are important, or are you spending, think about things you do right now that absolutely do nothing for your life. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And could you take that time? And we get into these habits. It's a discipline issue. It's a routine issue that's wrong. And because we do easy things. Easy things are much more fun than hard things. Yeah. But life gets harder if you don't do the hard things. And last is creative magic, or career magic. That's how to overcome the obstacles in your life. And actually the foreword was written by the current Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. I do a lot of work for the military. I went to Iraq during the war and did 13 seminars for the military. We talk a lot about depression and anxiety, how to overcome that, getting back in the workforce, and it was an amazing trip. And I've been working with them for 20 years, and amazing people in the military that are really committed to what they're doing. So those are, if you got any kids or anybody in your family who's disorganized, spend $10 and get them that time management book and go through it with them. Sip them. I've been using this day planner for 40 years. I call it my second brain. My wife said you should be careful about saying that since you keep it back there. But every day I have a list of things to do, and I put them in here. And the chances of me getting them done go up dramatically when I've written them in here. If I tell you I'm going to call you on the 10th at 5 o'clock, I will have written it in here. I mean, it's simple. I have something on 5:15 on the 11th, and I have something on the 26th, October 26th, and I have a breakfast with somebody on the 29th, and it's here. No matter where I am, I can find it. You can use your phone too, but I've found that I like to have this to write in while I'm talking on the phone or when I'm. But it works. I can guarantee you it works, and it's never too late to get better, and it's never too late to get better organized. It's never too late to do anything, really. Now, it may take you a year, 2 years, 3 years to get something, but those 3 years are going to go by anyway. So you might as well get started. So really thinking, and if you can't do it yourself, get somebody to help you. That's why my wife and I work out together. That's why we have a trainer. If we didn't have a trainer, we would never do it. We would just, it's so easy to come up with excuses. And that's what we do, basically. We excuse our way through life and wonder what happened. I've come to the conclusion you're only 4 ages in your life. You're born, you're 21, you're 65, and you're dead. So you better figure out, get going. Get going. And it's not too late. If you're 30, 40, 50, just do it anyway. A couple of years, you go out and do what you want. Main thing that holds us back is lack of self-confidence that was created by, who knows, maybe our family, maybe God knows what happened. But Our job is to help people with their self-confidence, their self-esteem, and believing in themselves. And people will do an amazing job once they get that. And maybe they didn't grow up in that environment and culture, but we can create that. And hopefully Disney creates that to give people the idea like, hey, maybe I can get ahead here. I got all these examples of people who did it. So I guess I can do it. When you get in the right culture, you get better. If you're in a culture that's positive, you get more positive.
Yeah.
That's why some kids we don't want our kids to play with, because they will definitely get in trouble. I mean, it's basically, culture matters. Culture at home matters. And it's the parents who set the culture, not the kids. So that's kind of a way to think about it. And
Yeah.
reading's a good way. You know, somebody told me one time, he said, you'll be the same person 5 years from now you are today, except for the people you meet and the books you read. Get out there and meet people, have coffee with them, listen to them, see what they're doing, ideas for yourself, read, come up with new ideas, new ways of doing things. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
As we're wrapping up here, may we end on, do you have any sort of great story, memorable moment at Disney World that sticks out over your time there?
Yeah, well, obviously the most dramatic time was during the crisis of 9/11 and the hurricanes. It was amazing to watch all the cast members in action and stay positive, and certainly 9/11, the guests were really upset. A lot of them were from New York and New Jersey, and you know, we had one bellman here at Disney who actually gave his car to a fireman that wanted to get back to New York and picked it up later. You know, that kind of stuff is.
That's amazing.
I mean, I've heard 1,000 stories of cast members who go over to Walmart and get a phone charger for some guest because they lost it, and they bring it to their hotel. I mean, the amount of things that people do are pretty amazing, actually. I was never surprised after a while at what a cast member might do for a guest or for another. Even the cast members taking care of each other at Disney is pretty amazing when there's a fire or a problem or somebody's sick, it's an amazing institution. Now, there's a lot of complaints here and there always will be but on balance is how I think about life. On balance, it was great. On balance, my wife is great. On balance, I have a great marriage. On balance, are there days? Yes. And at Disney, are there days? Absolutely. In recessions and all these issues.
Pandemics.
I mean, those are the hardest part. That's when you don't want to be a leader. It's when you have to deal with laying people off, or it's having to sit down and have hard conversations with people about their performance. But overall, it was the cast members, and we know that. Everybody knows that. We say it all the time, and that's all that matters is keeping your eye on the ball, which is the cast, and in a hospital, the nurses keeping their eye on the patient. That's all that matters. I always tell people, be the kind of manager you want your children to have when they enter the workforce. Be the kind of nurse you want your children to have if they're laying in that hospital bed, or it's your mother or your sister. And that helps us kind of, because when you're laying in a hospital bed, people are not always happy. But if it was your mother, you don't, you take care and you do it anyway, and you want her treated right and nicely. And that's how we want it at Disney. When your kids enter the workforce, I hope they have leadership that focuses on training and developing them, making them better, and not, trying to order them around. And people that order you around, raise their voice to you, are very insecure people. And they are the problem, not usually the person they're yelling at. So, yeah, those are the kind of things. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good.
Lee Cockerell, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.